Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, August 11th, and these are your weekend high or low lights, depending on how you look at them. It's essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we always like to start these off with a few fast facts. We answered 313 calls for service and made 18 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. That traffic stop number is low because of the high number of serious motor vehicle crashes officers were handling, and we'll get to those in just a moment. Now, here are those highlights in chronological order. Overnight Friday, officers were called to what was originally reported as a disturbance at the King Soopers down south. When they arrived, they learned that a male and female were arguing and that the male had assaulted the female the previous day. They also learned the male was associated with a stolen vehicle. The suspect in both the assault and the car theft is facing a number of charges to include second-degree motor vehicle theft, third-degree assault and domestic violence, as well as robbery for stealing the victim's phone and shoes. He was arrested and transported to the Adams County Jail. That same shift of officers overnight Friday conducted a traffic stop at East 60th Avenue and Cremeria after a vehicle with expired plates ran a red light. Upon contact, officers noticed the driver had both urinated his pants and had an open alcohol container inside the vehicle. The suspect is facing a slew of charges to include DUI, failure to stop at a red light, having no registration, driving without a license, and drinking from or possessing an open alcohol beverage container. His vehicle was impounded. Again, overnight Friday and in between your calls for service, officers conducted what's called an attempt to contact on a suspect wanted for domestic violence, second-degree assault, robbery, and theft. They located the suspect at a residence in Green Valley Ranch and took him into custody on his warrants. Good work, patrol. On Saturday, officers responded to a bizarre crash that ended up involving a stolen vehicle. Officers arrived in the 4400 block of East 74th Avenue where a vehicle had struck a gate and then another vehicle that was on the other side of that gate. Drivers of both vehicles were transported to the hospital for injuries. Shortly after the crash, the causing vehicle was called in as stolen. We learned the driver, our suspect, had trespassed vehicles at a residence nearby and found spare keys for the vehicle he then stole. The suspect is now facing second-degree motor vehicle theft, first-degree criminal trespass, theft from a vehicle, reckless driving, second-degree criminal tampering, and theft charges. He will be jailed after hospitalization. Overnight Saturday, officers rushed to the 6800 block of Fairfax Drive when our camera technology alerted us to multiple gunshots in the area. We located approximately 26 casings in the southwest parking lot of Fairfax Park, but there is no suspect information at this time. Those casings were booked into evidence. That same graveyard shift of officers also responded to the 10,300 block of East 104th Avenue for a report of a vehicle that was on fire. When officers got on scene, they found the driver standing outside the vehicle, and they assisted in putting out a fire in the car's engine compartment. The driver claimed another vehicle had cut him off, causing him to crash. It turns out, however, that the driver was actually under the influence of alcohol. Now he's facing charges for DUI, misuse of plates, having no insurance, having no registration, and driving without a license. His vehicle was impounded. This next incident you likely saw posted about on our various social media platforms. Early Sunday morning, officers responded to the 4100 block of I-270 westbound for reports that a wrong-way driver had crashed head-on into another vehicle. The suspect was also likely under the influence based on evidence that was found at the scene. Both the suspect driver and the victim driver sustained serious bodily injury. The suspect driver is facing vehicular assault, reckless driving charges, and could also face additional DUI charges, depending on the outcome of our investigation. The interstate was shut down for several hours while our crash reconstruction team investigated that collision. And finally, overnight Sunday, officers responded to the 9700 block of Hanover Court East for a vehicle theft. The suspects rammed a gate and stole a pickup truck with an attached plow. Two workers witnessed the theft and said they were almost struck as the suspects sped away in the stolen vehicle. Our detectives are currently working on getting surveillance video of this incident. We'll share it on our social media platforms once we have it, in hopes that someone can help us solve this brazen theft. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City, and remember, if you need us, we're always just minutes away.